Hello. We're doing a podcast still. We have no names. If anybody has any suggestions for names, please leave them in the comments down below. And maybe I'll actually get you a clips highlight reel this time, Jake. So maybe we can get some suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to just do a shout out or something for it.
Well, I mean, just having something there so people know that this is a thing now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
um,
We just had to get the ball rolling.
yeah. And anyone's gonna start off like doo doo, like hot doo doo all over.
Oh yeah.
So I got a question of like just the worst meme from 3 weeks ago. Why is the Carl Weezer thing with you gonna shit your pants, maybe come? Why did that take off?
I have no idea. It's just the worst. It's just the worst. It's like last year's spaghetti joke. Like there's nothing really there.
But like it was it was Carl Weezer of all of them, and I used to watch that show religiously as a kid. Why wouldn't it be Sheen? Like the Ultra Lord fetishism, you would think
Actually,
of all people, he would be the person to take a shit in the corner, jizz on it, and be like, "Look what I made for you, Ultra Lord." Like that would make more sense than Carl.
the voice even makes like I can hear the voice. Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Ultra Lord, I pay cum tribute to you. Like that's totally what I would expect instead.
Yeah.
But
No, you're right.
to go on a more serious note, we wanted to talk about the New Zealand shooting incident. Because you gotta intro a show with happiness, and then you gotta go right into the misery. So we were talking before, and you said it was developing. I have really tried to avoid as much as possible, besides the guy's manifesto, and I just wanted to know, like, are there any updates in particular besides the one governor or PM, whatever, getting egged in the back of the head?
Now, before I want to say we did talk before about whether or not to even talk about this because it's such a serious subject. So it's not it, yeah, but it's important stuff going on. Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting information from all the different news sources still, because they're all kind of taking opinion pieces from a lot of the information. A lot of the problem is the manifesto. From like the best article I've seen about it so far is from Rolling Stone, and they talk about in that article how essentially the entire manifesto is full of the term is shitposting. So yeah, they're saying that basically you need to have somebody that knows what they're doing to be able to read between the lines enough to be able to just to figure out what's satire, just memes, what's a joke, and what is misleading intentionally, and what is actually informational. What can they actually get from it? The whole situation seems to have been designed to create chaos.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, one of the things that I know it's really controversial to say, but I'm like, this guy was smart. He was cold and calculated in what he did. And
Yes.
that's what makes it ultimately like a million times scarier. Cause like something crazy like, Columbine, like as tragic as it is, that's like there was a thing that led to that. There was a build up, and there was terrible it's just like the whole around situation there is terrible. This was just it from the surface level appearance was this guy just wanted to make the absolute worst statement to further push political discourse.
Yeah. I don't follow much mainstream media because so much of it just doesn't pertain to anything I have any interest in, and a lot of it is so just politically driven by party and not necessarily actual factual information. But I did check with my parents because they follow the news pretty closely in those areas, and from what they were saying, CNN and Fox News and all these other different places, none of them mentioned PewDiePie at all. But they were putting a lot of the blame the same way PewDiePie gets blamed for all this. They're putting that blame on Trump. So either way, they keep taking this whole situation and putting it in the wrong place. Look at the people that did it. Look at the information. Stop trying to point fingers at who was connected to it or who was referenced or whatever. Like it's not worth it. It's just put the effort into looking at the actual information. Figure out how this guy ticked. Stop trying to use this to blame somebody that you don't like for something else. It's so stupid.
And like, I feel like Tim Pool honestly did one of the best videos about it. Like, the only point that he could derive from everything was to cause discourse.
Exactly.
And, like, for the most part, like, a part of the shooting was a message to be made, but the reaction that people have is just it's hard to say. It's just got to be pacificity or being pacified. I don't know what to think and how to properly word it, but like, is just kind of accepting that it happened and just kind of letting it go and letting professionals do case studies on this and just kind of just let it go. And
yeah,
that's really hard to do when everyone's so charged up and polarized. But I did want to bring this up. Like, I got into a Twitter argument with somebody who's an NBC writer for several television shows. And I'm trying to tell this person, like, look, he was saying straight up, like, this is because of alt-right videos on YouTube. And I'm like, you are a person of influence. You've got the blue check mark. You are a writer of television shows. You have to be calm. And it was a whole back and forth. And I'm just trying to explain to people. And I kept a level head. I usually, when somebody throws insults or just like points a finger, I go full troll mode. But when you have any sway of influence, you are really playing into the hands of the people who decided to do something this vile.
Yeah, and that's the worst part about all this. Is just how much of it was designed specifically to cause a rift. Like, here, the guy referenced apparently that he was influenced by things like edgy memes. Now it turns out he was a frequent user of 8chan. That's where he's getting his memes from. So you have all these people that are trying to connect the dots from white supremacy to things like the OK symbol, which has existed for way longer than these subtle tactics existed, because at one point in time you could openly be racist and it wasn't a problem. So why would you need a secret symbol for white power in the OK symbol? It was just the OK symbol.
Well, let me play a little devil's advocate here, because I'm struggling with this one recently, which is the OK symbol troll was started by 4chan. That was we all know it. It was all started from 4chan. But here's the thing. Intentions change and things change as time goes by. Is it possible to think that even though it starts off as one thing, it can really turn into something else?
Oh, no, definitely can.
And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I think when you take something and you hype it up to the level and then it becomes public to the ignorant masses, is what I will call it. Like, it kind of like meanings change. Like we didn't really kind of know about homosexuality, but when it became public in, more like localized to people that just kind of live their day-to-day lives, they don't live in like a media sphere, it becomes more normalized then. So is it possible that something like this is something that was kind of, okay, it started as a joke, but then once it became kind of in the public's eye, is it possible that this is now what they're gonna just say is, well, the meaning's changed and this is what we are. They are now. When you use the symbol, this is the bad thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely possible. As a matter of fact, I think that's kind of more or less what happened. The only thing is, obviously this is kind of thing. It's kind of hard to track over time because it's one of those things that kind of happens subtly in the background and no one really knows that it's starting to shift. But I think of it in a way, I mean, very, very different context, but in a certain way, it's kind of like how the word pride is now associated with like the LGBTQ community, or maybe it's just the gay community. I'm not sure which, but there was, what was it? Truth, I think it was, that called out tobacco companies for appropriating the word pride for advertisements at one point, as if the gay community owned the word pride because now it is associated with them. And it's kind of that same thing where the word has kind of shifted from being its own thing to now it represents something completely different. I think to a certain extent that's kind of what happened with the OK symbol, but I still don't think it's really happened enough, like definitively enough to where we can start pointing fingers at people.
Right.
And the guy. I'm sure you know the guy flipped the OK symbol on the stand or in the courtroom or whatever.
Yeah, like it was just like in front of a camera. Like it couldn't have been more obvious as a media grab. Yeah.
Exactly. He knew exactly what he was doing. And thankfully there are enough people that are sane to see that's what's going on. I've seen a couple small news organizations and stuff putting out articles about things how the internet is trying to remind you to read the situation. Do your research, don't just assume things are right, because so much of the media is like taking this and running with it because they know that they can, because they are the media, they are the trusted source.
Yeah. But let's not go too terribly into it. I'm like, we're gonna be a super downtrodden episode. We're gonna make everyone feel miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a huge thing at this point still, and there's still a lot of misinformation and stuff floating around about it too.
Yeah, and again, like, we're adding to the pile, but we're trying to put a specific spin on it. Otherwise, I would have said no. We wouldn't.
Oh no, this is all
about it at all.
Well, I mean, a lot of that theory that we just talked about was not even necessarily related to this incident. Well, it's kind of connected.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I would have probably vetoed talking about it if, like, we didn't have anything to add or conversate about it.
Oh, yeah, I was saying, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's worth bringing, like, all the videos I make is usually I'm trying to make a point because I'm trying to add to the conversation. I generally am not just going, I'm just going to say the same thing that's been rehashed like 1,000 times by everybody else. It's like, no, I got something to say. But
yeah, if I have something to say, I want to make sure it's different, or at least make sure it's more entertaining the way I do it.
Right. Yeah, can't all be super boring like other creators out there. I will not name names. You can't get a name out of me.
Come on.
No.
Yes. Now.
What?
One. Just one.
I don't like Cavos' What's Happening Online. I said it. I love you.
Hot takes.
I like you a lot, Cavos. I worked with you. We're still in thrust. I just don't like what's happening online. And like
it's hit or miss. But it's had an episode or two to good.
He's really good at what he does, and he knows it, and he just kind of, I don't know, I think he's just losing as much passion for it right now, and I'd like to see him getting back into it, because his videos, like his ones before What's Happening, they're great. They're really well done. I think they're produced. They play on the comedic aspect. They're not sitting there trying to be like, oh, we're going to go into a whole rant about how to destroy this person's career. We're just insulting them, mocking them, then we walk away. That's it.
Yeah.
But no, let's go gaming. Let's be happy now. Happiness. We are positively happy here, and we are happy because Ninja's getting paid $1 million to play Apex.
Happy is debatable.
Oh, you're not happy about it?
I can't stand Ninja.
Oh, that hurts my heart. Ow.
Ninja is so overrated. It's not even funny.
Ow, dude, you're hurting my fucking homeboy there. Now, I am fully biased, but, I don't care. I love Ninja. I love everything he does, and I am unabashedly on Ninja's side. Yeah, I worked with him once. Whoop-de-freaking-do. But I think he's done a lot of positive. I don't think he's ever actually done anything negative in this community. And
except for, like, reporting players in the game for doing nothing.
Okay, but let me explain the full context here, and I gotta call out my one buddy. Stream sniping is never ending. It comes with the territory of the job. But you get bullied for 365 days out of the year. You're not gonna have one bad day out of the year where you've lost it. Come on.
I mean, I've seen clips of him reporting people over literally nothing of importance.
Well, that's the point, is that you have nothing but gaming where you just get stream sniped, and so when you're playing, you think everything's a conspiracy against you.
No, I'm saying he claimed he was reporting people as a joke. So he was abusing the reporting system.
Well, I mean, we have all done that, to be honest.
I've never reported anyone in a game.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh,
I just unplug my microphone, and then I enjoy myself much more.
I will report somebody if it's like they're one of those AFKers, like they drop out and they just stand there. I report based off of performance. Like, okay, you AFK'd through the battle bus, you landed, and great, you fucked our entire team up because you AFK'd, or you were consistently dropping frames and dropping packets. I'm sorry, I don't want to play with you. Your internet's real bad. Like, I'm gonna report you for those things. And then the last one is the stupid teammates who are like, oh yeah, we're just gonna run past you and not revive you, or we're gonna troll you and not revive you. I'm down. Because the specific reason why you do that is it gets them out of your game. Most of the time, most games will just go, okay, well, you reported this person, we will never match them up with you again. Like a good majority of the time. So you take reporting, which is kind of like a system meant for like, oh, okay, well, we're going to report the hackers, the cheaters, the exploiters, and it kind of turns into just kind of get rid of the people you just don't want to see again. That's what most of it's really turned into. But that's specifically what I have to say about that with Ninja, because
the other thing is I just don't think he's entertaining.
I mean, I will give you that. He has really dropped off.
I will say there's nothing to take away from his skill, but I've never seen anything aside from like the only thing I've ever seen is like, oh, his rage compilations are kind of funny.
Oh god, dude.
But is he throwing a temper? Was he throwing a temper tantrum every night back then? I mean, I feel like if you were doing that, the joke would have gotten old.
No, like
until you went full Summit G and punch your monitor, I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have lasted that long.
No, he has been raged like that because he's a former Halo pro player. That's what I used to watch him. Is that like he top level Halo pro player, kicking ass, taking names, and you just get into those matches where he's got that FPS rage. You're just sitting there like, I'm fucking done. You throw the controller across the room. Yeah, that was Ninja before Fortnite. Yeah, I used to watch him because he did like pro play streams back when like Twitch was kind of brand new, and he was really one of the only people that were doing it besides the one other guy whose name is just now escaping my brain.
I mean, if part of the joke was like unique ways of destroying Xbox controllers, like flipping out, throwing his controller into a cup of water or something, like that would have been funny to me if he was consistently just doing something else ridiculous with it. But just the same flipping out over and over again just gets old to me. That's why I like Dr. Disrespect, because he almost always finds a different way to complain about something.
Well, but that's not what I watch Ninja for. Many people watch it. They watch for high tier plays.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like I can respect the skill, but I don't find it entertaining.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like, if I watch Dr. Disrespect, I'm watching for a show. I'm trying to be entertained, and he's good at playing games, but he's above average. Like he knows how to play. He's got the common knowledge, but he's not sitting there like I'm doing the $1 million tournaments and shit like that.
Yeah. But
that's what I think most people who are watching like the top streamers are usually like professional players or like top tier entertainers. If you were to probably break them down, most of the streamers are probably professional players, like a majority compared to just people who are highly entertaining, I would say.
Yeah, because a lot of the people that are just more entertaining, they tend to be able to get away with doing whatever kind of stream they want.
Yeah. And my one buddy, he has like these private little YouTube video clips of him stream sniping people, because that's what he does. And I always just sit there and I feel fucking terrible for these people, because I'm like, I played and I got stream sniped twice and I lost my fucking shit. I couldn't imagine that being every day.
Yeah, I don't understand the live streaming or recording videos of you DDoSing people or stream sniping people. I don't understand. You are just recording yourself destroying somebody else's fun. That's all it is. I don't understand the appeal to doing it or watching somebody else do it.
It's reaction. It's all reaction, dude.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, even people I've seen that don't react and they still just keep going with it.
No. You don't understand the top tier master trolls that we are, man. Like, when you're a troll, it's not like, oh, we're playing this little game just to get a quick rage, like a little clip for the rage compilation. No. we're going for your soul. We're going to make you quit the game because we're that deep.
I mean, I had somebody DDoS me when I was live streaming back in the day. I think it's one of the reasons I don't like live streaming anymore is because anytime I get more than a couple people in there, it's because there's like a bunch of trolls that are either trying to find a way to DDoS me or something.
Well, there's a lot of protections for that. We'll talk afterwards, but like, it's real easy to keep yourself from getting DDoS in most instances.
Yeah. Well, part of that was because back then I had a YouTube name related Skype.
Oh.
This was like 3 years ago, so I didn't think I needed to have a Skype name that was very different. So I had my profile picture and username was the same on Skype as it was on YouTube, and so they went from my Twitch to my YouTube, and found that information, found my Skype, and then somehow pinged my Skype and.
Yeah, because Skype is unsecured garbage net.
Yeah, thankfully though, if they had any other ways to like get my information or anything through it, because I know that's one issue with DDoSing is that they can get into your system and all that. At least from what I looked into. Now, thankfully, because we had a satellite internet provider, they were not able to see where I actually was. They saw like the hub in another state because the internet connection is so slow that the ping never made it to our house.
Wow. No, like for the most part, like DDoSing is just brutal packet attack, but like they can't do much with that. And
yeah,
like the only real annoying thing is that if you got an IP address and that's what they're pinging you on, you just got to call your provider and be like, can you just switch my IP, please? And that will resolve a decent chunk of that problem.
Yeah, and I actually looked it up, and with my service provider, like it like there was something with like every once in a while it actually renew your service, and it was the cycle was like about to happen anyway, so I just left my router and everything unplugged for like 3 days.
Jeez.
So eventually it worked out anyway. Now I got a completely different service provider. Thankfully, it's not satellite. Maybe we should talk about that sometime. Satellite internet. Jeez.
Oh yeah, the dog shit network of 2 megabit per hour.
Oh, the prices on it are insane too. And the middle of the country gets railroaded with the cost on that.
Yeah, and I've never understood why the fuck, like, people haven't stepped in and gone, all right, well, we'll just destroy your fucking business by installing one fiber optic network. Because I think the running the wires to the entire country is part of the problem. Well, that's if you have like a bunch of cities with high ass internet, all you got to do is run like one fiber optic network, be like everyone else, and just say, oh, I want land rights for this part of the country or this county or some shit like that, and just run one cable, like one big ass internet cable that can handle the load. And I'm like, what, like? You would destroy the competition and you'd be able to make a fucking buck off that.
Yeah, that's one issue I have with the what direction gaming is going is internet is just not good in probably like I'd say probably like 50% of this country, because of people that don't live like in a town where it's worth the cost of running wires.
Yeah,
they can't get internet, like, so they're stuck with like this 35 gigabytes of data a month. It costs $125 a month for us to get 35 gigabytes of data, maybe 25.
Oh my heart.
$125 a month.
Oh god.
Imagine how much that sucks for a YouTuber.
I was 35 gigabytes of data as a cap.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The only benefit with the company we went with, and that's why it cost so much, was because we went with the highest package. After I think it was midnight or 1 a.m., data was free, but it was always like really slow. Like it would always be like half the speed, and it was never fast at all. Because first of all, even at peak speeds, you still have like a massive ping because you're dealing with a satellite connection.
That
so
hurts.
Any game, like I could not open CS:GO because you have to have a ping lower than 600.
Yeah.
So I could not play CS:GO because my ping was always over 600.
Oh man, I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm getting fucked up. My bill is so high at $60 a month for this 100 megabit.
Yeah, no, it's rough. I mean, I'm paying $100 now for internet, but at least it's Xfinity like I got 100 download at least.
Oh my god. Well, speaking of internet, you can use that 700 ping to play DayZ with the other 7 people there.
I know.
You'll never die.
I'm really curious to see what's gonna happen. Ironically, right? Ironically, this game came out in 2013, I think. The standalone was released in 2013 in early access on Steam. And somehow this zombie of a game about zombies is now going into beta or maybe full release. I can't remember which.
I just have to ask, is one developer making this whole fucking game? Like,
I can't even remember.
Think about it. Brendan Green made PUBG. Like him and I think of like 2 other dudes or some shit like that. Like a tiny ass team. They made it was shitty, but they made a game. You mean to tell me a fully funded backed game with the help of Bohemian can't 6 years? How many years? 5 years? Like what?
Yeah, it's been 6 years now. And I'm looking at, I actually brought up, I don't know how valid this is. It looks like it's pretty valid, but anyway, it's Steam Charts app, something or other. And according to this, it's the actual, like, the live concurrent number of players by month. So it looks like in February 2019, there was an average of 4,000 players, 4,800 players. I think that's for the month, not per day, though.
Oh my God.
Peak was 9,000 players. So maybe it is 9,000 at once. I don't think so, though.
Better? Come on.
December 2018, they got a spike of 3,400 players.
Probably somebody streamed it for a minute.
So there was 29,000. Well, not to mention winter sale.
Oh.
But yeah, right now their current player base the last 30 days appears to be 9,000 players. If it's 9,000 concurrent, maybe that's not too bad.
I think that's peak if it's going with that number.
Well, that says peak, but I don't know if it's like peak, like the number of concurrent like at one time. Maybe that's not the right word. I thought concurrent was like current, like at the same time. But anyway,
yeah. Well, peak would be
it says average players is 4,000.
4,000.
So the average, their average, it says for the last 30 days is 4,000. So I guess that means 4,000 currently all playing at the same time.
Oh, look.
So
I think there's something that needs to be said to the people who are playing this game, and let's just make it clear right now. Do you like abuse? Who hurt you? Who do you need love? I will give you love. They won't. They will abuse you.
It's over. Let it die.
Like,
the game is about zombies. That should tell you enough.
And here's the thing. Look at Arma. Arma's numbers are still going up. Very slowly, but they're going somewhere. You mean to tell me you took the core elements of a good Arma 2 game, you broke it down into something that added zombies to add, like, the intensity. Because, like, Arma, yeah, sure, you can respawn, there's military, but, like, scavenging and, like, low ammo, like, low supply, that's a big deal. It's still, even though people like to say it's a dead genre, it's still quite popular. You took 6 years to get out of alpha. What the?
I mean, heck, if you want to think about it this way, they just took some of the elements from Minecraft and then added guns to it.
They didn't even do Minecraft for the longest time. I think it was like, it took them 3 years, because I played when they first launched the game. They didn't even have any elements of building. The only thing you were able to do at the time was make tents. And that was it.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like they have the survival element and the zombie element, and then guns.
Oh my god.
That's about it. Like, it's how much. I mean, maybe it's got vehicles by now. I shouldn't say it's probably got vehicles by now, but still, at the same time,
had vehicles.
How long is it? Well, no, the standalone didn't for the longest time. I believe it was like 2 years later after the standalone came out that they started talking about adding vehicles. Because I actually purchased the standalone back in the day because I wanted to try and play it and see what the big deal was, because I never had Arma, and the standalone was just, it didn't run good on my computer. It ran like crap. It was almost like DayZ was the PUBG of that period of time.
No, that game was bad, and I think that was an embarrassment in the gaming history book.
It's just,
I'll say it outright. Arma 2 mod of DayZ and DayZ itself, bad games. All around, just terrible games.
well, and the crazy thing is you have games like Rust that already fully released, like, and that game went through a lot of evolutions. DayZ hasn't really changed that much.
No.
Like, and the entirety of its existence, it was always like washed out colors and all that, which works for some games for some areas, but the entire map was a washed out grayscale looking map.
Well, I like that.
It just got boring.
That. I thought that was actually a really good idea. It'd be like post-apocalyptic Russia.
Right, but you would think there'd be certain areas that are going to be a little bit less gray because like wheat and tall grass that's dead is still orange.
Right.
But instead it looks gray in the game. Like,
oh no, don't get me wrong. I'm like, it was terrible.
They went too low tone with it. They tried they like, I get the intended feel, but at the same time it felt like it was too depressing for a lot of people. Like, it was too specific.
You know, the worst thing I always thought too was there was never any like progress tracker, because when you play Rust, which by the way I banked a shitload of hours in version 1 of Rust, and then I banked a bunch of hours in version 2. Every time you were doing something, it was like, I'm making progress. We're building this shit up. We're gonna go raid some people. We're gonna be awesome. Like, you kind of felt like at a point you were almost safe, and that's the worst thing in a survival game, to feel safe. But DayZ was always like, I'm fucked if I see any people, and if they see me, I need to book it out the other end. And even if you ran a full like team of people, squad of people, you sat there and you just went, all right, we got 5 trucks, a bunch of tents, and some wire fence. What do we do? Go get more soup. Cool. This is fun.
That's one of the things that sucked the most about those kind of games, is unless you managed to really stockpile stuff, you were just constantly searching for food or water, and that's one of the things that made me sick of it.
You couldn't find a gun during the first version, like, of DayZ release. Like, there were no guns. I lost my mind. I'm like, can I just find one fucking pistol or a goddamn sniper? Right? No, they just would not let you have guns.
Yeah, and I was like you. I played quite a bit of the original Rust when it was first coming out. I actually think I got that before I got DayZ, because I thought it looked cooler because, like I said, the tone and everything. And then I got DayZ just because people would not shut up about it, and I wanted to compare the two. And Rust originally, I actually liked it. I mean, I eventually stopped it because I just got tired of just constantly dying because I didn't have anybody playing with me or anything anyway.
As is all survival games.
Yeah, and then the newest version of Rust that I played a while back, last year sometime, was actually really nice. Like, it was really cool. It almost felt like a non-dinosaur Ark.
See, I was
in a good way.
Like, I think if they took some elements from the forest and made like kind of bigger like NPC enemies, then yeah, I would have been fully on board and saying like it's kind of Ark like.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of games that are kind of like that now, because you also had Conan or whatever come out last year.
I never played that.
And that was another interesting. Yeah, I didn't play it either, but I saw like Max Mofo and a couple other people play it, and it looked interesting. It's just one of those games where it's like, I don't have the time to play these kind of games anymore.
Did you see Faceless's video on that whole thing with Conan?
I think I saw his, because it was part of the series of videos Max Mofo did. I think he directed people to go watch one of them.
Well, so basically, they built like some base or some shit like that, and there was some guy that they had accidentally like destroyed part of their base or something like that, or they killed them. So this guy went on a fucking vengeance to destroy their base. So literally what the guy did, I don't know, I don't remember who it was. You could find the video somewhere. I might have it actually linked in the description, but he basically stockpiled these sacrificial like totems or like thing you need to summon like a giant fucking like demigod, and he just nuked everything they had. And I felt bad because Faceless came on a video. He's like, yeah, we accidentally killed this guy in a different server who's also a YouTuber. So the series is over, guys, because he just wanted to fuck us.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I remember that.
That was shitty though.
It looks like it was it was H2O Delirious that they were dealing with.
Oh yeah, Delirious. Man, that guy.
Because I just searched Faceless Conan, and one of the first things to come up is rating H2O Delirious again.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to watch that.
I could very much see them after something like that happens going and doing it again.
Well, like, it's so pissy when you have to get revenge on somebody. I mean, I totally understand why. I'm like, oh yeah, you destroyed what I had, and you get a little pissy, but to server hop to stalk somebody because you're so pissy about it, dude, get fucked. It's like when I used to troll in Call of Duty and the people would follow me around. It's like, dude, I fucked with you. Eat shit. Go take your L. Walk away. Come on, just take the L, please. I'm tired of you. That was my favorite thing to say to people is, I'm tired of you. Go away. You have entertained me enough. Leave.
Just a deal.
No, I really wish people, when they're in that heated mode, you could say things that really fucked with their pride. Because people say fucked up shit. They really know how to say messed up things. But, like, nobody ever got to me. In real life, people would say mean things to me because usually I was being an asshole in the first place. But those would get to me because they know you. They can cut deep. I wish I knew how to do that for people online again.
Yeah. Thankfully, I will say that thankfully I haven't really received that much like hate or people just bashing me online for anything. But I've received enough crap over the years, and I'm just self-aware enough to know enough about myself that when people actually do try and attack me over something like my weight or my yellow teeth or my brown spots on my teeth or anything, like, I don't have to tell you why I have these situations. You can go ahead and make fun of it all you want. It just makes you look stupid. I'm thankfully at a point where it doesn't bother me.
But, like, I wish there was a way to get them back easily.
Yeah.
Because
see, that's one thing is I'm not very quick on my feet with insults or anything, so that's one of the reasons I don't play with a mic on when I play games online, because it's just like I don't have a comeback.
Oh man, you gotta go crazy. Just dive up the deep end. Say the most heinous shit you can think of, but it's gotta have like you. It's a craft. It really is a craft. I'm telling you. You learn to just take things and go, okay, let's take something stupid like you fuck your mother. Okay, that's obvious. That's too simple. But what do you do? Okay, well, I'm an adult now. This person sounds like they're 17. I know how to trace somebody's IP address. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna come fuck your mother at 123 Blueberry Lane, and then you just watch the person blink has left the game. Like that's intense. That's art. Everyone likes to just go, oh, that's just you're just being a dick. No, that's art right there.
Yeah, I mean, I see why some people see it that way. Personally, I don't know. I mean, yeah, keep in mind. I mean, I know you've seen enough of my content to know that my sense of humor is a lot more specific.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me in particular, that kind of like it feels lazy for me if I was to try and make a joke like that as an insult.
Oh no, I think it's very Carlin-esque to take something that is commonly accepted as like, oh yeah, this is just what we do. These are generic things we do in life, and just go, no, fuck that. This is weird. Something about this is wrong, and I'm about to fuck it up its ass.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against it. I just personally, I mean, like, as long as you're not actually crossing the line of like DDoSing or something like that. Personally, it's like whatever. But I don't know.
Nah.
Like I said, for me, it's a matter of like structure for a joke. For me, I overthink it, I guess.
Well, there is art in constructing a joke, but when it just comes to 12-year-olds on the internet, who's got time for that?
That's fair.
But no, that's my opinion on with DayZ and Ninja and all that jazz. I think for the most part, we're gonna see this issue kind of popping up more, where game developers are just kind of taking your money and leaving, because we got Activision.
Yeah.
Just, we haven't given them enough money. Like, guys, I think we need to make a petition. Everyone needs to donate $1 per signature. Give Activision our money, because the shareholders don't have enough. We really should feel bad, guys. I want it to be known. I'm like, when you hire, I think it's 3,000 staff members, there's a lot of overhead involved. Like, they cost money to keep those people employed. So we got to get rid of them. Just fire them all. Just take them out. Get them the fuck out. Overwatch League, what the fuck is that? That's not making us any money. Like, no, we don't need that. We need to give Activision.
Did they not see what happened at the Diablo announcement?
I
like
the Diablo announcement was just atrocious. Like,
so I guess they decided, let's not announce this one on a live stream. Let's just announce it on Twitter.
Read the room. How many people are boycotting your games? How many people did you just lose? Their investor calling literally said, we have no new game releases prepared besides Diablo Immortal. What are you doing? What is wrong with you?
Oh,
where is your fucking brain, Bobby Kotick? Where is it?
It's so bad.
Oh my god. See, I could totally understand a Call of Duty mobile game. Sure, it might be my opinion that yes, mobile games should be like a growing market, but we know the game. We know they're gonna nickel and dime everybody. There's gonna be paid DLCs. There's gonna be some bullshit like you ran out of bullets. We need $1 per bullet, please. Everyone wants to pretend that's not real. It's totally gonna happen. They're gonna charge you for fucking explosive bullet rounds. It's gonna happen. But
so we haven't actually said it yet. Yes, this is a Call of Duty mobile that was just announced right before we went and got to start recording this podcast.
Like 20 minutes ago, announced straight up. We're making a Call of Duty mobile game. We're returning with some of your favorite maps. Oh, our favorite maps.
And favorite characters, too. So it might be like a hero shooter of some kind, which just doesn't make any sense at all for Call of Duty.
It's a hero shooter. I'd love to see Soap keep dying.
I mean, the new Black Ops was a hero shooter, kind of, but that was the only one that was a hero shooter. So that means they're going to stick to the hero shooter thing, and they're going to make Call of Duty Mobile a hero shooter. I don't know.
They're on PCP. They're fucking loaded on some sort of drug.
Yeah, shooters do not work well on phones. Just like the integrity of your game will be compromised by having it playable on a phone that way. And it's specifically for mobile. It's not going to be like mobile to PC. Yeah. The reason Fortnite and all that work well the way they do with mobile is because if somebody's bored, they can just pick up their phone and play for a few minutes. It's not a matter of like, this is my exclusive way of playing this game necessarily. Yeah. So the idea that, hey, let's release a mobile version of Call of Duty where you're going to have touch controls and all that it's going to be a thing of beauty, let me tell you.
And they got to be embarrassed when they're not even making this like really public or anything like that. They're trying to sweep this under the rug, like that they're ashamed of this, but they're making it still anyway. Why?
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
We're so excited for our products, investors. We're gonna make you.
We're not gonna announce it any big way though.
Okay, I got a question though. How much money do you think it's gonna make?
It's gonna depend because the app could be free. I didn't see anywhere where it said whether it's gonna be a free to play or not.
Well, I'd imagine it'd be free to play. That's usually how they go for it, but they're gonna nickel and dime you for bullets.
Yeah, it'll probably be like, you can only play a certain number of rounds or whatever before you like you get a number of lives or something. It'll probably be like you can only play like 4 games, and unless you win all 4 games, you lose a life or something. I don't know. But it'll probably be like Candy Crush even had lives or whatever. Like, it's so stupid, but that's how the game worked, and that's how they made the money. It was like by passes and lives. And here's the thing. Here's my honest take. If it's not going to be an actual like Call of Duty game, If they were making like an adapted version that worked like more like The Division or something, where there was like snap to a wall, like more, almost more like a tactics game
Yeah, I
instead.
get what you're talking about.
Where like it was more like that, or XCOM I think is probably a better example. If they were doing something like that and just using the brand name, I could totally see it. Because if you were just using tap to locations and tapping targets or something a little bit more like that, something
Jay,
maybe having the ability to shoot.
that would require innovation and foresight. Come on, who's got time for that when you're making money?
I know. I mean, the crazy thing though is I feel like it'd be easier to animate, not necessarily animate, but I feel like it'd be easier to like set up the control scheme and all that, because you wouldn't have to actually have the touch controls mapped properly and set up to respond properly. Like there's gonna have to be so much practice to make sure that works, or they're just gonna kill the concept.
See, I'm gonna put another controversial opinion out there. I think it could work on mobile if they did a proper fucking layout. Like, you know how every goddamn mobile game has that 3-button layout where you put your thumb on the one and then you scroll. That's your thumbstick basically. It's outdated. It needs to get the fuck out. They need to consider the idea of like, this is a controller. This is like a handheld controller. Not necessarily like putting attachments on it, but people are going to carry this around like it's a controller. So you need to adapt it to the style of like, okay, well, I mean, I can't visualize it through Discord, but basically the idea like your fingers and your thumbs hold the bottom of the phone and you actually feel like you're playing a game on the screen, but like the control scheme is smaller, like it's contained so you can get more actual visual experience, like adding leaning in so that when you tilt your phone you actually lean a little bit. Like adding features would actually work in my opinion. I will put $1,000 down saying they don't do any of that.
Part of the problem is that because it's not tactile, it's easy for your thumb to leave the area of the controls. So like I've tried playing Fortnite and PUBG and a bunch of other games on mobile before, just out of curiosity, morbid curiosity. I wanted to torture myself. I'm a little bit of a masochist. Figured why not piss myself off for a couple hours. And the biggest problem I've ever had with any game that used like a digital analog stick of any kind is that it just does not respond well, because your hand, there's no physical location. You can't, like, you have to actually be conscious of where your thumb is in orientation of where the screen is to be able to move just a certain amount, because you can't even tell like, okay, there's enough tension I'm putting this way to move the character. You can't tell. And then if the screen ever glitches out a little bit or something and then forgets where your thumb is, well, then you got to move your thumb back to where it's supposed to be and then do that same action.
That's
again.
what I'm saying.
It's just overly complicated, and I don't know if there's a way that they could really make the screen work well enough for fingers without a physical tactile button.
No, I think they could. It's just that you have to put an actual amount of actual R&D into it, because here's the thing. You can get pretty pinpoint on touchscreens on like the zone of like where it considers you to be touching it. And generally it's not well received for obvious reasons. Like you feel like you're smashing your thumb on 4 keys, but it's actually on 1, and sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. So everyone's a little bit different, but you, instead of having like a dragging area like all the games want you to do, like, oh, you drag your thumb this way. Basically, my personal input is that you should have like a box, like a dedicated box on the screen, and it's like if your thumb is in any one of these points in the box, that's the movement your character's taking. Because like kind of right now, I think with Fortnite specifically, the one I can reference is that like you put your thumb on like the control stick, the thumbstick essentially, and then you drag it around based off of where you put your thumb on there, and that's supposed to dictate your movement. That's less responsive than trying to be like, here's a dedicated zone that we specifically tailored towards your hand style, and then you're given like some configuration to move it around based off of maybe if you're a lefty, or if you have like smaller thumbs, or if you have like longer thumbs. Just a bit more adaptiveness, but saying that it's like a controller. You're holding a controller right now. It's not like a freaking oh my god, I'm forgetting what it's called. It's not a mobile. Wow, I'm blanking on a mobile shooter. I can't remember what it's called. Where it's like, it specifically got those stupid button sticks that every major developer uses.
I'm not familiar.
I can't.
At least it's not ringing a bell anyway.
Well,
I mean, granted, you know, to be fair, I guess part of the problem is I've always been a PC primary player, so I mean, it's already hard enough for me to go to a regular controller for mouse and keyboard. So it's definitely possible, I guess, that it won't be as bad on the phone just because I'm used to a mouse and keyboard.
it's gonna be bad. I don't think there's a way for them to do it properly and make money.
No, I really wish I would love so much to get a game like I think XCOM is the one I'm thinking of. There was also a Super Mario game that had the same kind of battle scheme recently, where it's like Super Mario and the Raving Rabbids or something. I don't have a Nintendo console or anything, but that had basically the same control scheme that I'm thinking of, where it's not really an RPG. It's more of like I guess it's an RTS, right?
It's a strategy based, I would say.
Yeah, I would love to see an actual good game like that on the phone, and I have not found anything even like it that is worth playing.
I'm screaming for Civilization 5 and 6 on the phone. That would be one of the best possible things you could do, and they will not do it.
I need to try Civ, I guess. I've never actually played Civ.
Oh god, I'm a little annoyed at Civ 6 because it just was too hard for me to understand. So I've kind of been staying at Civ 5. And I feel like 5 really just kind of does like more, like 6 felt like cartoony. We're goofy and silly and it's like all like colorful and happy. Civ 5's like, we're kind of going for a more realistic kind of perspective on that end.
Yeah.
But if you can get good at Civilization, you can get really good at practically any resource management type. And I would also kind of say XCOM would also kind of be part of that. The only difference I say is that XCOM types, they kind of rely a lot on chance, whereas Civ is a little bit less chance based. There is some involved, but it's mostly just straight up strategy. Like your action will pretty much almost always determine how well you perform.
Yeah.
There's some really good ones out there for Civilization. I think Civ 3 is actually good. I've never heard a bad thing about Civ 3.
I'll have to look into getting one of the older ones to try and get into the series. It just seems like one of those games I was just never gonna click with.
See, that it's funny you say that because you actually can't do that with any particular Civilization game.
Oh, really?
I remember reading this or listening to some video where they talked about this. The Civilization developers, they specifically build their games so that what they do is they say every new iteration of their game, they do a 33% rule, which is they add a 33% of their effort is towards upgrading the visual fidelity, like just graphics, textures, all that stuff, animation. The next 30% is they change the core elements of the gameplay. So they change like the entire game to try to make it like different. And then they take the last 33%, which is they take the best elements of the last game and then they keep those elements and they try to make them a little better, but they keep those elements so that like every Civ has like obvious core elements that are going to be the same, but every game actually plays significantly different from one another.
That makes sense.
I thought it was really interesting. Like it's a little kind of, for me, it didn't really work for Civ 6, but it just seems like a really smart business development strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're gonna have to end it there actually, because it's about 10 o'clock for me here. I'm gonna cut this because I'm like my brain is blanking all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like
Yes, the only things we didn't cover was Lily's thing, which would probably be it was probably be relevant enough next week.
No, we can keep that and gaming focus besides the shooting.
Yeah.
But no, we'll bring up like Lily's thing next week and a lot of the other controversial stuff like the rich people being rich people. Yeah. So, surprise, surprise.
I'll try and see if I can find any good examples of that too. To add to it.
I think that one's going to be pretty straightforward. There's nothing really to argue other than rich people are greedy and rich. Well,
oh no, I just meant like related topics.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's one thing I've been doing a lot lately is trying to specifically find related topics to do a video about.
Because I really want to get a name for the show, and I'm blanked.
Yeah, same here. I don't. Like I said, I had the Internet Unwind, and then I've had nothing. Yeah, that'll work. Like put out a little teaser and then put out the whole thing or something, and then kind of like. I mean, I guess eventually the goal is to have a separate channel for it when we have a name and all that, right?
Yeah, one channel that's got sense. All of it, and like kind of like H3 style, where like the clips come out, trickle out, and then the full episode would come.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, let me do the outro, and then I'll talk to you right after. Thank you guys for watching, everyone. We really appreciate it. If you have any comments, leave them down below because we read all of them. I can't imagine a world where we don't read the comments. So, yeah. For me, I have nothing new coming out. What about you, Jake?
I just put out a video today about motivational creators and motivational content on the Internet Unwind YouTube channel. Follow me at Internet Unwind on Twitter. And that's about it.
We'll see you guys next week.